I want you guys to put yourself into my shoes. Do you think you can do that? Like, do you think you can put yourself into my position when you wake up and you know you gotta make a YouTube video and talk about the news, and you see this title, Green Party says primary school children should be taught to take drugs safely. And so you gotta wonder, is this generally true? Because, you know, you don't want to show an article to people that's satire and present it as if it's fact. First of all, like, YouTube's TOS is against that, but, like, secondly, you would make an embarrassment out of yourself, right? And so you need to judge, like, is this genuinely happening? Is the Green Party literally saying something like that? Or is it satire? And so the arguments for being satire is that, well, it's absolutely batshit insane, right? Like, it's ridiculous. No one is that retarded to say something like this in public. And hopefully you have some hope in humanity that if someone was to say something like this, they would never be elected again. You know, like decent folk, like normal human beings, not even decent folk, even degenerates actually, right? Even degenerates, even junkies and drug dealers would probably think, you know what, this is a little bit too far. A little bit too far, like someone who says something like this should never belong in any position of power. And so you're thinking, okay, it's satire. But then, you know, then you realize, no, hold on, this is the United Kingdom, right? Like, this is the nation that wants people to dox themselves for going on the internet. This is the nation that has fictional crimes treated far worse than real crimes. Like, stabbing in the UK, or like actual acts of rape and molestation, aren't as severe as going online on Facebook and doing hate speech. You know, like, this is the nation we're talking about. And so maybe it's possible that their crime is so out of control, like they've lost the plot completely, that they've given up trying to stop it. And so, like, they're just trying to minimize the damages. It's like, okay, well, if children are going to do drugs, at least let's make sure they don't get HIV. At least let's make sure they don't get syphilis as well. You know, like, let's make sure that they protect themselves. And, like, this is what's going on in my head, right? Like, now I have to balance these things and have to decide, well, is it true or isn't it? It's true. It's true. It's from metro.coc. Like, this is one of the prestigious news organizations in the UK. And so if it's saying that the Green Party claimed primary school children should be taught to take drugs safely, then it's true. And so you gotta wonder, all right, fine. Well, someone did say this. Like, is this person taken out of context? You know, what was he trying to use a metaphor, to be hyperbolic? It's kind of like, well, because Labour isn't tackling crime properly, he said this as a joke. He said this to be bombastic. No, he did not say this as a joke. He did not say this to be bombastic. Apparently, the Green Party in the UK want to legalize all drugs, including crack, cocaine, heroin, and date rape chemicals. Like, you know that you're in the UK, right? Where if you write in an article, cocaine and heroin, it's not really as bad as if you put date rape, because, like, they're a very feminine country, right? So, like, anything that affects women is actually 1,000 times worse than things that affect men and children. But listen, I wonder if these people understand why drugs are banned, and probably, you know, like, I don't really blame them, because, well, it started as a legitimate thing, because, like, some drugs are pretty much poison, right? Like, the difference between poison, like rat poison, and fentanyl is pretty much in the same area. Like, these are substances that genuinely poison people. But then you have other things, like, for example, marijuana. Marijuana was not banned because it's poison. Like, marijuana, allegedly, is not as bad as alcohol. It's not as bad as tobacco. The reason it was banned, it was for political reasons. Like, once the ban ended up going to the United Nations because of bureaucracy and because of the profit of arresting people and whatever, it then became worldwide. And so, you know, a lot of people that are looking at it and they want to legalize marijuana, people are wondering, well, why can't we legalize heroin and cocaine? the reason that these drugs are also illegal is it's not necessarily that at the time people literally gave a shit if an individual wants to poison themselves. It was the fact that when people get a withdrawal and they don't get the fix, they are willing to commit criminal activity. They become unhinged. They become aggressive, right? So, like, this is why those drugs were banned. Because, yes, like, there was a time when these drugs were legal back in the day. But just so you can understand how the conversation is going from legalizing some drugs to now legalizing all drugs to now teaching primary school children how to take drug safety. And you get to understand why we can't have nice things. I genuinely like do not understand why modern politics like have to be with the extremes, right? Like either we put people in prison for pot, or we need to allow primary school children to be taught about taking drug safety. Like, did you notice this? Like, there can't be a middle ground. There can't be context. There can't be common sense. There can't be no. Like, it has to be one extreme or the other. And so, of course, people were horrified about this take. I mean, even Romanians that have heard it in the news were like, "What the fuck is going on in the UK?" And apparently they have policy proposals, right? Led by Zach Polanski, who wants to legalize crack cocaine, heroin, and date rape drugs for recreational use. Again, like, to be fair, like, date rape drugs for recreational use, it's like, okay, I don't know what this date rape drug is, but, like, if a couple wants to enjoy it themselves in private, and assuming, like, it's called a date rape drug because I guess it's not as dangerous as cocaine or heroin, like, you can actually have a case for it. And I know, like, it's called a date rape drug by the media to sensationalize it and shit. So, fine, but, like, heroin and cocaine, really? They also want to create a direct partnership between South American cartels to introduce a sustainable supply in the UK. Ooh. The policy also has children starting in primary school should be taught how to take drugs. To be honest, like, this is like a type of person that generally doesn't want to get elected. Like, this is what I think about it. This is the circus. Like if you genuinely want to legalize drugs, okay? I want to point this out. Like, in politics, everything is possible. If you have enough money and you have, like, a good rhetoric, you can potentially do this. Like, in the future, there is a possibility that there will be countries that legalize drugs. Like, for example, 20 years ago, no one would believe that pot will be legal again, right? Sorry, not 20, 40 years ago, right? During America's war on drugs period. No one would believe that, okay, marijuana will be legalized. But it has, right? So, like, there is a possibility that in the future, certain drugs in a nation can be legalized. They're not going to do it like this. They're not going to start the conversation with, like, primary school children need to be. So, in other words, like, this person legitimately wants to tank their party. Which is a good thing, by the way. Like, I fully support, like, any type of green movement should die. It should wither away and die. Like, anything that has to do with green and eco, like, all that type of stuff that's literally designed to make your lifestyle shittier should die. So, I fully support this guy, Zach Polanski. Yeah, if you're British and you hate the Green Party, you should support him too, right? Like, the worst thing that can happen to Britain, to the United Kingdom as a nation, is this person leaving politics. Because then, like, the Green Party may actually have some reputation. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.